Yeah, no, look at my horse. I can do sideways.
Do you know it just means horse dancing, doesn't it?
Is that what dressage means?
Yeah.
Of course it fucking does.
Incredible that they managed to get that in.
Even show jumping.
Yeah.
It's just Crufts on a bigger fucking dog. Right everyone, welcome back to the Fixture List. Fuck me, do I have some revisions to do?
You've got some making up to do, haven't you? I thought the Germany one was good. We're in the final still. You did not think this was coming, did you?
No.
Right. Apologise.
No.
No, I don't think.
And what you can hear in the corner there, yeah, of course it's Mo. Mo from Squawka, thanks for joining us. You all right?
Oh, mate, I'm very happy. I was this close to my prediction coming true. All I needed was Danny Olmo to score that penalty, put Italy 1-0 down the shootout. Spain would have won the shootout. Spain-England final, like I said, it would have been. Very close. Pedri was great. Busquets was great. But Italy are in there. England are in there. Can't believe it. Out of this world, mate. I watched them lose 4 semi-finals. Sorry, 3 before this. 3 semi-finals. I never thought they'd win one.
Are you including the Nations League semi-final in that, Mo? Because you should, because it's an official big tournament that England got to a semi-final of. I'm calling it.
It's an official tournament, let's say. Let's put it that way.
It's one of the big boys. I'm excited, Steve.
Oh, just...
Come on, then.
Look, listen, Southgate's going to get tons of plaudits, and do you know what? He deserves some of them.
Oh,
right?
come on.
He absolutely deserves some of them. He's managed to make this look easy. He has gone down a defensive route, which I asked him to do. Not personally, but you know, I was saying this is what you probably should do because you come up against some of the teams. Germany being one, and they did in a certain way, and Italy's definitely going to be another one. And if we'd have come up against France or something like that, we absolutely should have done this. But he's managing the games. I mean, he's picking teams where we all go, fucking hell, what are you doing there? And he's getting away with it.
The Saka pick made sense, actually, in this one. I thought everyone was like, what? Because Sancho played so well against Ukraine. But it made sense because the whole Denmark's big threat, right, is Joachim Mæhle. Right? He was their big outlet, like the same way Spinazzola would have been for Italy if he was still fit. He was their ferocious outlet. And what Southgate did was he had Saka sit on him. Saka marked him all the way, all up and down the pitch. And so Mæhle didn't have an impact on the game until Saka went off. And by then, like England were too set and Mæhle was too tired. So it made sense. It looked really weird, but it made sense. He's basically using Saka like a defensive, like an extra wing back or an extra fullback because he's so diligent at tracking back and defending, whereas Sancho isn't. Rashford is probably physically not capable of doing it right now. So it makes sense the way he's using Saka. He's using the squad very well. He's playing the fine margins. Yeah.
No, I don't think he is.
Yes, he is.
No, he isn't. Because he's riding his luck in a massive way here. Because if Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't even in the fucking squad, Harry Kane's injury prone, right? Yeah. Last night, he should have been using him.
I said quite well. I think I meant to say quite well. But because there's room for improvement because he's right. You look at the tournaments that have been won since the turn of the century, right? The turn of the millennium. With France 2000, Spain 2008, and Spain 2010 are the only tournament winners who are actually proactive teams, trying to win games by lots of goals and all that stuff. Every other tournament has been won by a team that's happy to sit back and hit on the break and happy to be very pragmatic, right? Very pragmatic. You know, only those 3 teams, and Spain 2010 didn't score many goals because Torres was rubbish, but they were trying to all the time. Every other team was just not interested. So I understand the logic of being pragmatic, but the thing is, when you're pragmatic, you have to have. He's playing on such razor-thin margins, Southgate. And it's like, just take it's the same thing France did, but France had Kylian Mbappe and Antoine Griezmann and Paul Pogba. England have none of those players, right? Raheem Sterling is doing brilliant, having a great tournament, but England have no players of that quality, right? And so when you're playing on these thin defensive margins, you have to have attacking players will get the job done. Harry Kane, in form, is one of those players. He's not in form. He's not had a good tournament. He's managed to wrangle his way to these 4 goals now, but he's not playing well. Now, he might still score against...
and he could get injured.
He's got that. And it's that's the worry you have for him. He's playing on such fine margins that it just takes one thing to not go his way and it's all going to come tumbling down. Like if Kasper Schmeichel last night palms that penalty away instead of trying to catch it and it doesn't fall back to Harry Kane, do you think England will win a shootout under that pressure? I don't think so. So if he just had brought on, and last night was a great example as well, because 70 minutes in, Denmark were just gone. They had nothing in their legs. They were running on fumes. If you then bring on Jadon Sancho.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? If he wins it, you go, you won it. No inquest.
But if
done. You're going to get knighted now.
If you're saying about Schmeichel maybe saving the penalty, well, maybe then if you can say, well, if he'd have saved it, then this. But if Pickford was better at jumping, wasn't stood on one post and let the ball go in approximately 4.5 feet in from the other post, if we had a competent goalkeeper at saving shots from outside the box, I think he's been pretty good, Pickford, but he's notoriously bad at that. If we didn't have T-Rex arms in the net, they wouldn't have even scored last night.
No, yes, that's definitely true. But this is what I'm saying. It's the fine margins. You see how fine the margins are Southgate's playing on, right? It's like 1 or 2 moments in a game, and like there's no need for it. They even have the talent to win these games by more than just 1 goal, or just So again, like I say, if you bring Sancho on 70 minutes, maybe bring Foden on as well. Maybe actually have Calvert-Lewin on the bench. You can bring him on. England could have won that in regulation in normal time, easy. They don't have to go extra time. They could have won it. Take Kane off, take off what's his name, Mount or whoever it is.
These are the analysis that gets reduced to, well, Kane had to play because Lucky scored, and then you have and Sterling's scored and assisted and this, that, and the other. That's not to suggest that if you'd have had other players in there, they couldn't have even done more than what those players did. The problem is you've got no evidence of it because it's just purely hypothetical.
Well, I think by the time it went to extra time, you can't take Kane off in extra time because of penalty shootouts, right? But in normal time, you do take Kane off. You bring on maybe Rashford, but more likely Sancho, someone like that. Run at Denmark, who have nothing in their legs left, and you would have won the game in normal time. Yannick Vestergaard could barely hang on to Harry Kane. You put Jadon Sancho, hey, go on, run at him, Jadon. He's going to kill him. And, Simon Kjær, we already seen he would dive in the way of anything, put scoring an own goal. We already saw that with the first own goal of the game. So, and Christensen went off as well, went off injured. They had Joachim Andersen, who got relegated with Fulham. So they were there for the taking. Southgate just didn't take them. Now, okay, you won. So it's like you won. Who cares, right? Don't need to think of, like you say, Stay. But the thing is, Italy are better than Denmark. If you play those razor-fine margins against Italy, they've got Fede Chiesa up front, who just is lights out.
I think Italy are I think they're stronger, they're craftier. I think they've just got a bit more tournament experience, even though, like, realistically, they haven't. It just feels like there's just a team that's more capable, more experienced. Having Bonucci at the back alone is like a 1-0 start.
That is good, but also, if we're being honest, they didn't deserve to beat Spain more than Spain deserved to beat them. Do you know, like, Spain had brilliant chances that they missed. Oyarzabal had that chance in the first 5 minutes where the ball comes to him on the 6-yard line and he controls it behind himself. He has another header in the 85th minute that would have won it for him. Italy missed their penalty. Like, if Spain had been more competent, that was as much of a razor-fine margin as England won by, if not more.
But the thing is, right, the reason why Spain could do that is Spain had Busquets and Pedri, and England don't have Busquets and Pedri. England have a midfield of 3 Kokes, which is great, and I do think England can win the final just by shutting the Italian midfield down by doing what Koke did to Verratti and pressing. But England have nowhere near the midfield creativity of having Busquets and Pedri in there. No one even close to them.
So we're going to call it, Mo. How is the final going to go down? Is it coming home? I think we're legally obligated to now
use that phrase.
Yes, the phrase.
I mean, well, technically the song was about the tournament being hosted in England, so it's already come home. But with regards to who can win it, I do think England can win it. I think if they set those 3 midfielders they've got, right, Rice, you make him babysit Barella, and then you just do what Spain did, right? You put Mason Mount on Jorginho. He knows Jorginho from Chelsea. Sick him. Just press him, harry him. Don't let him get any space. And you do the same. Calvin Phillips on Marco Verratti, and that's going to decide the game, I think, that battle. Because I think Mount can disable Jorginho. It's going to be about, can Calvin Phillips get the better of Marco Verratti? Can he press him into oblivion the way that Koke did? If he can, England will shut down the Italian midfield. There's no Spinazzola, so Italy will have no way of really getting the ball consistently to their forwards. If they can't get the ball to their forwards, it's just Freddie Chiesa long shots. That's all England have to worry about, right? But it's all going to come down to Calvin Phillips. And then England will find a way to score. I'm almost certain of that because the way Sterling's playing, the speed he has right now, we saw Alvaro absolutely cook Chiellini and Bonucci. As good as they are, they're both old men and they're both slow. Morata cooked both of them. Sterling is faster than Morata. Sterling is in better form than Morata. So I would back England to at least manage to score. It's just a matter of if they can keep Italy out at the other end, which if they can press Marco Verratti and nullify him with Calvin Phillips, they can do it. That's just the one. It's an if. You don't know. It's 50-50. Could it work? Could it not work? It could work in theory, but easily Verratti could play really well. He's a very good, very talented player. If he gets around Calvin Phillips, England could be in trouble.
Can't believe I'm sitting here talking about previewing England final.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
I mean, that's not the word I'd use, but just unbelievable is the word I used.
So, yeah, I'll take that.
It's wild. It's honestly wild. My son doesn't know that England does. My son has only really paid attention to the last two tournaments of World Cup and this. So he only thinks England are good. He has no concept of the fact that England have been, for years, just rubbish.
Plenty of time for him to come to the realisation of the truth.
That's what the genius of Southgate has done to the youth of this country.
Is this a turning point? Because if you know, you're not going to win every tournament, but if you start making semi-finals regularly, you can say that, yeah, you know what, you've done well, right? If England's problem was they were always like quarterfinals and bust, they could never get over themselves, right? And it was always a disappointment. Quarterfinals, round of 16, not even making Euro 2008.
Maybe Southgate winning, he's got to celebrate with a half.
It'll be a lovely half pint of white wine.
Mild, yeah. Right, go on, Mo. Give us the magic words, the 3 magic words.
England will win. I'm not saying the magic words.
Good. I prefer those ones as well.
Right, where can everyone check out all the info they need? Pre-match analysis, post-match analysis, and everything like that?
Squawka.com, Squawka on Twitter, Squawka Football on Instagram, I want to say it is. Oh, Facebook, definitely. Just check us out, Mohammed Bot on Twitter. Hit us up, check us out. We're going to have all the preview stuff, all the good stuff. And got a preview podcast coming out soon today sometime. So, you know, it's all good. Check us out and then...
Yeah, check it out. And, oh my God, I'm sure we're going to be talking next week, digesting whatever hell's going on Sunday. Cheers, Mo.
See ya.
Right, next up then, I reckon we should talk a little bit about Wimbledon. Arguably the greatest sport on grass. Tennis.
Got excited then.
Do you have any interest in tennis?
Do you want the truth or do you want...
What the viewers want to hear? I think it's the same.
No.
Yeah.
And I think they like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree. I quite like tennis. I've got a little tennis racket at home.
Of course you fucking
I can't play, but I always just go for a backhand slide.
Do you know people go, oh, when Wimbledon's on, get out in the garden and play tennis? No.
Why not?
Never once.
Bad ankles.
For starters, no. I've had bad ankles for a couple of years. I'm 37.
Good point.
The large majority of those, athletic Joseph.
Right.
Oh, what did you come up with a name for yesterday? Your, it was a Portuguese one. Was it Joe Hay?
I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what it was. Fucking hell, that was funny though. Anyway, yeah, sorry. I don't know. Inner city Manchester, tennis wasn't high up on the agenda.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun though. Do you not like watching it? Wimbledon, come on. You didn't used to watch Greg Rosetsky, Tim Henman when we were a bit younger.
No, I told you this last week, I think, or the week before. Agassi liked it. And then I found out Agassi liked it as well.
Well, Andy Murray got knocked out this week. Are you upset? Act upset. See if you can do a bit of acting. I'll say it again, and you do a bit of acting to act upset. Andy Murray got knocked out this week. Oh no, it's so gutting, isn't it? And the nation did a collective. Oh. Yeah, exactly. And they did. Roger Federer got knocked out this week.
Heard of him.
That's upsetting because he's like just about to turn 40. He's coming back. He's been injured for basically 2 years. He's come back, got knocked out 3 sets to 0.
So who's good then?
Who's good? Djokovic, unfortunately. Nadal didn't even play. He just missed. He was, I can't do this, I'm too old. Djokovic, if he wins this, obviously now he's the overwhelming favourite. He was anyway. If he wins this, that will be his 20th Grand Slam, equaling Roger Federer, putting him at the most of all time.
Grand Slam?
Grand Slam is Wimbledon, US Open, Australian Open, and French Open.
He's won all of them in a season.
No, you have to. Each one of them is called a Grand Slam. It's different. In certain sports, if you win, you have to win all of them, and it's called the Grand Slam. Whereas in this, if you win each of them, they're all called Grand Slams. There's 4 Grand Slammers. It's very rare that one person wins all of them.
So what do they call it? Is it they've got a new name for when you win the lot in one season?
It's an interesting point because I'm getting to the very periphery of my knowledge of this now.
Well, let's just roll with it.
Okay.
Say it confidently, and we'll just leave it at that.
The Turbo Slam.
Right there. I thought that's what it was.
It's very rare that happens though, especially in the modern era because clay is so different to play on than grass, is so different to play on than hardcourt. It's very rare that one person is
So give it a
all
fucking sexy name.
Turbo Slam.
Right, there you go then.
Slam from the top
Because
rope.
let's be real.
Yeah.
You are the best tennis player
Yeah.
in the world
Yes.
if you can do it on clay.
Yeah.
On the plastic one?
Yeah.
On grass?
Yeah.
Underwater?
Yeah.
All of them?
Not sure about the last one, but it could work.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
If you can beat everyone underwater and all of the rest of them, you're the best tenniser in the world.
You absolutely are. And I mean, I think we're at the semi-final stage or the quarter-final stage now, so...
It's quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Why is it at the same time as the Euros?
Because sport has to happen in about an 8-week period, because otherwise no one watches because the football's happening. And then sometimes no one can watch because the football's happening anyway, because they take up the summer as well sometimes.
Listen, give us a new weekend day.
Yeah.
And that can be your tennis day, and your golfing day, and your cricket day. And leave Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Friday and Wednesday for football.
Yeah. It would have to be another S. If we were an event an 8th day, that is like the every other sport day.
Silly day.
Yeah, silly day. Or like slum day.
Ooh.
Or like, what sounds cool?
Sleepy day.
Slug day.
Oh, slug day. Yeah.
Slug day would be good.
I like sleepy day.
Sleepy day.
You can have your Saturday, you can have your Sunday, sleepy day, back to work.
Yeah, I like that. And that's when we play all the other sports, frisbee, golf,
Oh, yeah, all the stupid ones.
Yeah.
Your tennis, your cricket, your finger, all that lot. Yeah.
Golf.
Silly day.
Yeah, perfect. So Djokovic is the massive favourite. 17-year-old Coco Gauff got knocked out by the 2018 Wimbledon champion Angelique Kerber. Thoughts? Good, he likes that. Roger Federer, like I said, knocked out by Hubert Hurkacz.
On our notes, there's a young lady here called Emma Raducanu.
Yes.
Young British lady, I'm assuming.
Yes, captured the nation, didn't she, Steve?
No idea.
Captured your heart.
Let's say that, yeah. I mean, is she of age?
Yes, 18.
Right, okay, well, let's roll with that then.
Okay, she's awaiting her A-level results, so maybe don't push too far down that line. She is expecting her A-level results, but I think she's one of them like straight A, sort of very good at tennis people. She had to drop out though, and you can maybe relate to this. Difficult breathing, heavy breathing, chest pains.
All right, because in our notes just below the telly there, it says she says the big stage was catching up with her, and she dropped out due to lack of experience. One thing, you don't get the experience by dropping out because you haven't got the experience.
She didn't drop out due to lack of experience. Maybe she hadn't experienced that intensity of tennis for that amount of time. But
I don't know if it was the tennis or the media attention that she got.
Perhaps she got a lot of it, but she's very good. And I think people love a young female tennis player, and it's a bit pervy and it's a bit weird, but it happens. And I think it's not us that decide that. It happens all the time, doesn't it? And people get obsessed with it. And also, for some reason, in the men's, it is incredibly rare to ever see like a 17, 18-year-old winner that come and win it. It happens sort of once a decade in the women's. You see it sort of Sharapova, you see it occasionally.
Not winners though, but I am aware that there is seemingly a lot of younger ladies playing tennis at the higher level.
Yeah.
It's more common.
Yeah.
Like you say, you don't see 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old lads.
No.
They're usually blokes in their 20s.
Yeah.
But that seems to happen more frequently. Do you think that's a power-related thing?
Maybe it's a power-related thing. Also, maybe it's a case of, with it only being the best of three, it's first to two sets, there's more of a chance for an upset, more of a chance that, like building muscle over years, building endurance over years doesn't really come into it as much. Whereas, when you're 16, 17, you don't quite have that built-in endurance that you have when you're 28, which you would need for a 5-set match in the men's.
That's one of the reasons why football is so favourable towards smaller teams getting results against bigger teams. It happens way more in foosball than it does in, let's say, most of the traditional American kind of sports, because they're so high scoring that as you keep scoring and scoring and scoring, the cream generally rises.
Yeah.
Where when in football games where it relies on generally a score, generally you conceding that one goal can just be enough to really flip a result. And maybe that's the thing, because it is 3 versus 5. Maybe in the women's game you see more considerable upsets because there's not much time to right it, because the games are only 60% as well.
Yeah. If you lose that first set and you have one bad service game in the second set, you're out, no matter how good you are, no matter who you're playing. So maybe it's to do with that.
Yeah, did you know as well, so you're talking about the A-level results there. Now, I find this fascinating. So if I said to you, young lads who are making it as professional footballers, are they doing better or worse than the general population when it comes to their schooling results?
Well, instinctively, you would probably say worse because there's a distraction there. But then maybe, especially in America, I know it's not, you're talking about football, not American sports, but there is a sort of a trait or a sort of idea that they kind of get helped in their grades a little bit because these are these sort of prized assets, athletes. So I don't know, maybe better?
Yeah, so there was a study done in Germany not too long ago, which was looking at the high school results of elite athletes, people who went on to perform at like national level or international level, I should say, for the national team. And they were like 10% higher, which they was like, this is mad. 10% higher is, I think it's like 60% of the general population, whatever the equivalent of like 5 A to C's would have been. 10% higher in athletes who made it to the German national team.
Interesting. I bet there's about 8 different factors in that, isn't it? One, they're competitive as fuck, so they're probably really good at studying, really good at using their time, devoting themselves to something if they want to. 2, if I'm a footballer that's probably going to go to play in the Premier League or the Bundesliga like this was, I might get a little bit of extra coaching or extra teaching from one of the teachers at school that the school will put on for me.
Or more likely the academy that you know.
Exactly. So it's probably a multitude of things, but yeah.
One of the things that they said is that because, and this has only happened in the last 15 or so years, because football has become more technical, more tactical, and more classroom-based than it ever used to be. Like in the 50s and 60s, just wasn't the case.
Get on the pitch.
Whereas now, because there's so many different formations to learn, so many different roles and tactics and this, that, and the other, and analysis is becoming such a norm part of football and football society that the athletes are becoming a bit more studious and a bit more used to learning things, and it's paying dividends for them when they're trying to become athletes or when they're trying to do exams as well as becoming athletes.
Makes sense.
Interesting though.
Very interesting.
Madness. Obviously, I balls my GCSEs up because of rugby, and I don't think I was alone in that.
No.
I think loads of people did that. But then you look at Ronaldo. Obviously, he went through the academy, ended up getting a degree. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there is something in that after all. But yeah, my instinct would have been to say that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah, me too. First things first, you think they're distracted worse, but obviously not. Should we talk about Olympics?
Yeah, Olympics is happening again. Yes. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why does it feel like it's longer?
I don't know. Is it 2 weeks? I thought the Olympics was a month.
No, it's 2 weeks.
You're joking.
23rd of July to the 8th of August.
That's mad.
That's 2 weeks.
How did they get?
And basically, 2 of them days are ceremony days.
Yeah, and most of it, the first week is just swimming. It's just swimming. Michael Phelps getting 8 golds, and then you move on to the exciting stuff. Just him splashing about.
Is there too many swimming events?
I don't know, there might be. When you get into stuff like freestyle, no.
Why don't they have freestyle running?
Yeah, no. Tell them what to do. Don't give me this freestyle like you can do what you want. Someone's bringing like a tug along or something. You can't have that. You got to do breaststroke, front crawl, maybe butterfly, even though that's a bit of a piss take, to be honest.
But even that?
Just like
so how many
smacking the water.
How many golds did he come out with?
I think he's got like 24.
Right.
Something
how many come out with at each Olympics?
Oh, 4 or 5.
Right. You don't see Usain Bolt might do, what, a relay, 100 metres, possibly 200 metres.
Yeah. He's getting 3 golds at best. He's got 9 gold medals, I think. I think he had 1 taken away because that team that he did the relay for, one of them was doping. So I think he's got 8 golds, but I think he won 3, 3, 3.
Wow.
Yeah. And Phelps is just 20 golds, 18 golds, whatever it is. It's either 18 or like 22. Too many.
I know that he's a couple of United players going to the Olympics.
Yeah, Bailly and Diallo, both for the Ivory Coast.
Yep. What's your thoughts on the football?
Well, yeah. For me, I don't care. Like, we're not... Have we even got a team?
We? Studio 68?
United Kingdom.
Oh, no.
Right. We had that one that time.
Because we did a Euros one. Yeah.
I don't care about the football in the Olympics. It's not what the Olympics is for. Same with the tennis, really. I like when Andy Murray won it.
Joe.
But golf, yeah. All these sports where... if you're a runner, the best thing you can win is the Summer Olympics.
Bingo.
Same with fencing, same with swimming, all these things. There's the World Championships, but it's the Olympics that you care about. If you're a footballer, the Olympics is certainly below the Premier League, certainly below the Champions League, certainly below the FA Cup, probably below the Carabao Cup. It's like just above the Community Shield. What's the point in wasting...
Is it like the Audi Cup in Australia?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Bailly, who doesn't have the best injury record anyway, is not going to get a full pre-season now. He's going to come back, at the end of July or the middle of August, knackered from playing probably 4 games in about 2 weeks, like it happens with every tournament. I just think it just seems to be a waste for me, and I'm not particularly bothered.
There's plenty of golf tournaments. Yes. You all dream about winning jackets, you fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you asked about the medals now?
No, well, they're not, because the jacket is there as a symbol, when really they've won about 20 million quid. Or it's like something in Dubai where you get 8 million quid for finishing 40th. Those sorts of tournaments. Not quite that extent, but people get like 1 million quid for making
I was halfway down to fucking Pro Direct Golf out there.
UAE on the phone. But you don't win anything for winning the Olympics. There's no prize money for the Olympics.
You get the medal, which you can't really sell because I was like, can't sell you Olympic medal. Fucking
medal.
hell, what's supposed to do with it? Put on a shelf.
Can I get a fucking gold post box or something? No, that was the 2012
yeah,
one, and that's it.
That. We did that once. You're not doing it anymore.
It just seems a waste. Was it wrestling that got taken out?
There was talk about taking wrestling out. I don't think they managed to do it, but it's a fucking disgrace.
But stuff like that, where that is the pinnacle of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, if you win an Olympic gold at wrestling,
literally one of the first sports.
Exactly. So the suggestion that you could ever take something like that out, and when there's, sports like golf and football in there, just doesn't make sense. Like, basketball's the same. It's like...
It's back in this year.
Basketball. I knew basketball was in this year because I've seen all the Team USA, and you go, hang on a sec, Team USA is the same squad as the NBA All-Star game. It is just all of the best basketball players, and then you've got Giannis Antetokounmpo playing for Greece, and that is it. Like, it's all the best players playing for America.
Are you saying lump on United States?
If you want to win a few quid, bet on United States to win the basketball. Unless they just toss it off and they're shit.
And they might.
They could do.
They might go to Tokyo, get banged into Japanese gin.
Yeah.
And
Japanese whiskey's very big as well, isn't it? Yeah. Canada's pretty good. I mean...
For whiskey?
No, for basketball. But it's just America, isn't it?
So there is a few new sports. You've got surfing.
Yeah, I like that.
How are you taking... It's what blows my mind. How are you taking... As the talk, someone put a proposal for esports to go in the Olympics, and you're like...
I like that as well.
Surfing, climbing.
That's all right.
Is it like 100 metres up?
Yeah.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
Karate.
Smoking. Who can smoke 10 fags the fastest? What do you reckon?
Dot cotton.
Yeah.
And skateboarding. And Britain have got a 12-year-old at the Olympics.
Well, we need to talk about this. What's the name? Have we got a name on there? We should at least respect her enough to have her name, shouldn't we? Can we get that?
No.
Will's going to shout it over to us.
Sky brown.
Sky brown, which is the colour of my pants after the England game last night.
Of course, that's what you do when you're called that at 12.
Right.
How silly are
Yeah,
we?
she's got, with a name like Sky, the sort of parents that would call a kid Sky, probably into
Especially when your surname's a colour.
skateboarding. Right. What I need to say
Great
about
if your
this girl,
surname's blue.
Yeah, exactly. She's 12 years old.
Better than calling it shit, though, innit?
Yeah, she's 12 years old. She's third in the world in her activity, right? Imagine being a 28-year-old who is fourth in the world in that same discipline. You're like, just checking the rank. Right, she's 12. She's 12 and she's above everyone except 2 people in the world.
I reckon I
How
still fell
amazing
over
is that?
once a month when I was 12.
Yeah, just from like
tripped
toddling.
up.
Just toddling. You still had a little toddle in you. And she's...
You're having mad growth spurts, aren't you? So sometimes you just trip up.
Yeah, like my knees are hurting or my shoes are a bit big for me because my mum bought them 2 sizes bigger so I didn't have to buy another pair for a year. She's third in the... That is incredible, isn't it? Have you seen her as well? No. She's not like a big 12. You know, there's like that big 12. She's like 12. She's tiny, small, like... She looks like... If you said, how old is she? 9, you believe it. She's not like the tall 12-year-old kid from school where you're like, why is she 5'9" when we're in primary school? She's not that one. She's just a little 12-year-old kid. Ridiculous. That is impressive, isn't it?
I went to school with one of them ones.
What?
Like the Honey Monster ones.
The big uns. Yeah. There's always one of them, isn't there?
Like 11.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now.
But yeah,
Mo
ridiculous.
Farah failed to qualify for his running thing that he does.
It's because he's been doing marathons for the last 5 years, isn't it? And then he comes back and is like, I'm going to do 5,000, 10,000 again. It's like, no, you're not. Not fast enough.
Yeah. Mad.
Yeah. I love the Olympics though. Do you like it?
I do like watching the Olympics.
Yeah. Favourite events? Obviously. Everyone's favourite event.
100 metres. Yeah. It's the law.
Because the great thing about the Olympics, to a certain degree, is it answers some fundamental questions. So theoretically, before MMA existed, boxing was like, who's the toughest person? Who's the best person at fighting?
Olympic boxing is a bit different, but
It
yes,
is.
yes.
But the sprinting, who can run the fastest? Who can swim the fastest? Who can lift the most off the floor? That's what
Who can do tricks on a board with wheels attached?
Well, don't worry about that, because that isn't as fun. But
Who can play fucking Call of Duty the best?
The marathon or the 5,000 metres is like, who can run the furthest the best?
Yeah.
100 metres is the most perfect sort of concentration of that theory, isn't
the marathon guy?
Yeah.
The name the marathon came after.
Yeah.
He ran 2 marathon or from marathon, didn't
One
he?
of them, yeah.
And it was 26.2 mile away. No, he died.
Yeah, he ran it and died.
Yeah.
And then we were like, let's do that. Yeah. It's good that though, isn't it? He ran so far, he died.
It's like, I've got a new sport. What is it? Shoot myself in the head.
Yeah. But
not going to take off.
taking 3 hours to do it.
Oh, we did. As we mentioned, what was the quickest Olympic sport to learn, didn't we?
Yes.
What was it?
It was... One of them was what we said. Shooting was on the list. What was the other one?
One of them was 100 metres. And you go, no, you dick.
Yeah, it's the quickest to learn if
Whoever
you
wrote
are the fastest
it was
person
like,
in the
I think
world.
ESPN had wrote this article on it. And like 3 of them on the list was like, no. Because men's soccer was like 4th on the list. And you go, literally no. Literally, potentially one of the hardest sports. But again, depends where you're from, I guess. Because where you're from. Nepal, you're pretty good, probably in the fucking team.
Yeah. And also, remember the 2012 men's football team?
Also a big squad.
Bigger squad, but also, it's not like the best players from England. It's who didn't just play at the tournament, who isn't injured, whose club team haven't said, what the fuck are you on about, you're not going.
Who plays for Watford?
Yeah, you get like Ryan Giggs and then Ryan Bertrand in the same team. So maybe, but you still got to be Ryan Bertrand level if you're British.
Yeah. You mean Champions League winning?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, if you're from Djibouti or something, and you maybe conference level, you're probably getting in. But again, it's hard to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, that was an intriguing looking list because it was some of the ones that we mentioned, kayak and things like that, and like things like. But again, depends where you come from. It's the qualifying times, and as Mo Farah found out, some of them are going to be a lot harder than others.
Yeah, if you just don't hit that number, you're not going.
But there's obviously some sports where the barrier for to enter ain't that high, ain't unachievable.
No.
And you can just sneak in.
I reckon every secondary school around the country has got one PE teacher that either was Olympic level, reportedly, or says he was Olympic level. Did you have one of them at your school? We had a teacher that apparently got the swimming time. He got the time, but they didn't take him because the coach didn't like him.
Fuck off. No, mine was an ex-professional rugby league.
Well, there you go. But everyone's got something like that.
But he was, though.
Did yours take a javelin through the arm? Because Mr. Swinscoe did.
No.
Well, no, Mr. Swinscoe.
I remember,
Mr. Willison.
Do you remember 999 with Michael Burke?
No.
And they were doing javelins.
Oh.
And you know what's coming here.
Next through the neck.
And then they're running up to it to collect it, slip, badoosh.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Die?
No, I don't think so. They had to do that thing where they put them in the thing and have to saw it and that. Yeah. And you just think, 999 was really, really bad, but so bad it was good.
That sounds just so bad it was bad, and I'd feel sick watching that.
Yeah. 999 make Casualty look fucking good. And Casualty is the worst thing on top. Bar none.
Was this a drama or is this real?
999?
Yeah.
It was Reconstruction's job.
Oh, I get
Michael
it.
Burke would tell you, and he had the perfect voice for it. If you're not, he's got to be on YouTube. You got to go and check 999. It was fucking top. But yeah, that was one of the scenes on it was Wetfield, Sports Day, javelins. We had javelins at my school. I bet you're not allowed javelins now.
No, we had them as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
They
No
can't.
one
You fuckers that are at school now aren't getting javelins.
Mr. Widdowson took a javelin through the arm, and they still had javelins at the school. They didn't stop it. I wonder if that bloody javelin was still in the cupboard when I got there 10 years later. Probably was. So why is this one brown on the end? Because that scar there is why that's brown on the end.
You're weird. You're fucking weird. You're fucking weird.
It was great.
I wonder though if they did exposure. I mentioned this thing last time we was on, didn't we? That one of the good things about the army is that you just get the opportunity to try shit that you would never have had the opportunity to do. Like, what sports do most schools do? If you're lucky, you might get a fucking shot put, discus, javelin.
Yeah.
The hammer's not one that you get to do.
No, that fucking thing.
Because I used to do sprinting, you used to get to go fuck about with the hammer stuff at training.
Really?
Because they had all the equipment there. And honestly, well hard. It's going into the cage 9 times out of 10.
And 1 time out of 10, it's hitting you in the chin because you swung it wrong.
Oh yeah, you're just going straight up and then fucking 4 meters away.
Yeah.
And it's shit for putting pictures up on the wall.
Yeah.
What a shit hammer that is.
Yeah.
And still.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Spin this bastard round. But I wonder if they did like introduce actual, like the range of Olympic sports from fucking golf to fucking esports if you must, to skateboarding to thingy.
Yeah.
Like, I think somewhere like Australia or possibly even America, they probably do that buffet of every sport. You know, from taekwondo to jiu-jitsu to boxing to the fucking horse dancing thing that they do.
Dressage.
I mean, that's... Yeah.
How on earth did that make it into the Olympics? When they were like, right, we see who's strongest,
Toffs.
see who's fastest.
See who's got horse, who's got dancing
I've got
feet.
a pet that won't mind winning a gold medal.
Yeah.
What?
See,
no, this is for humans.
You do it with a horse.
Yeah.
Watch my fucking dog jump through the soup. Fuck out of here with your fucking dog.
Go to Crufts, you twat. Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, look at my horse. I can do sideways.
Do you know, it just means horse dancing, doesn't it, dressage?
Is that what dressage means?
Yeah.
Of course it fucking does.
Incredible that they managed to get that in.
Even show jumping.
Yeah.
It's just Crufts on a bigger fucking dog.
it's exactly that.
Literally, I seen him at Crufts. You go up the thing, you go down the thing, you jump the thing, you go around the fucking tunnel.
And that's better, because at least the person who's like the handler has to be able to like sprint around the thing with them. They're going around that tunnel next to the fucking up and down as fast as the dog is.
Just because you're dressed like fucking Nicole Kidman out of Far and Away doesn't mean you get to fucking win a medal.
Incredible reference there, well done. No. Very good.
Good film.
So yeah, Olympics.
Shocking Irish accents.
Is it?
Good film though.
Olympics is good though, isn't it?
Yeah, but anyway, back to give the fucking kids a go at every single one, because that's how you end up with a country that's actually able to compete, because you just get some fucking random inner city kid who goes, I like archery and I'm fucking Katniss Everdeen, have some of that.
Yeah.
And you think how many little girls maybe would maybe watch the Hunger Games and then you expose them to archery and they're actually good at it.
Yeah.
Because you'll never fucking know.
Find out unless you've gone to Centre Parks as a kid. Yeah. And that's $2,000 for a 2-bedroom chalet for 3 days. The most overpriced place on earth. But most of that comes down to money.
In England.
Yeah. In Ward. Most of that comes down to
where? Cumbria.
Schools don't have enough money to do that. We had like 8 old rusty javelins. And
most school sports fields, they've just reduced it down to a football pitch because that's the smallest they can get away with having, and maybe an 100-metre track so they can do a sports day. And they've fucking sold the rest of it for houses because everyone's fucking skint.
So,
the country that professes to love sport and does fuck all about it.
But that's why so many of those peripheral sports are reserved for private school, posh, like hockey. No one's got a hockey pitch anymore. Same with I think the velodrome, a lot of the cycling stuff is the same thing. Just difficult, isn't it? How are you getting a velodrome? And
that's why things like wrestling can never be taken out of the Olympics. Because what do you need in wrestling? You need a fucking bit of a spandex suit.
Yeah, and a circle.
Yeah, and crack on.
Yeah.
Where are we doing it? Car park.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
Right, I guess we're done.
Yeah. What a week! England coming up. England in the final of the Euro, Steve. And I knew it from the start. And do you know what's good, actually? Portugal fluffed it last time. They got through by being absolute trick-ass bastards. This time, if we're being honest, Italy were the best team in that side of the draw. England have been the best team in that side of the draw. It's the first time in a while that the two finalists, you go, they both deserve to be there. Yeah, they've been really good. And that's good.
Right, I will say, England do deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And people are getting this mixed conception. Do I want England to lose? Not really.
Do you want them to win?
Not really.
Right, that's just pathetic.
I just don't care.
Come on!
I don't care.
Think of Marcus Rashford.
I haven't played. That's not what anyone will say when he's wearing his medal. You haven't played, yeah.
Luke Shaw and Maguire.
And people will be like, are you going to admit you was wrong about Shaw? Well, no, because when I was saying it, I was right. And for the last 6 months, I've been saying he's in good form. So what am I wrong about?
Well done.
If he ends up a European champion, fucking sound.
I guess you win then, Steve, overall.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
So if you're in Little England, enjoy the fucking game on Sunday. But here's the thing, like I've said to you, it ain't in me. Do you want me to pretend?
Yes.
No, I'm not going to fucking do that. I can't do that. It's just not in me.
I'd like to see you try to pretend.
All right, what if I just get drunk?
I'll do.
Okay, I can do that.
Cool.
All right, see you next week. Make sure to check out everything that you need to know about what's going on in this weekend's Euros final featuring England and the Italians. Link for all that is in the description. Go give them a follow. Go check out all the pre and post match analysis. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next week.